There are tons of creatures in the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, tons of mysteries and tons of Easter eggs in the game that reveal the darker and more paranormal side of the game, and they have plenty of stuff like this in their games that reveals the fact that they love making, these side quests and hidden things in their games. And the developer behind all of this is Rockstar Games, of course. They've always added stuff like this into their games, from, GTA to Red Dead Redemption, and they had all sorts of things that explore more fantastical things in their games. And I just think that Red Dead Redemption 2 was great when it came to including a lot of these things, and Red Dead Redemption 1 and GTA 5 had all sorts of, Easter eggs as well, but for some reason, I think they were a bit more fleshed out, if you know what I mean. This video is going to be heavily opinionated, so hopefully you guys don't leave a dislike just because you disagree with my opinions, but I genuinely think that Red Dead Redemption 2's Easter eggs could have been better. Like with the UFOs in GTA 5, you would actually see aliens, or if there was a Bigfoot, you would actually get to see it and not just hear the voice of one in a cave in Red Dead Redemption 2. Same thing with Red Dead Redemption 1, you would actually get to see the creatures or the Easter eggs play out. But granted, a lot of their more paranormal stuff was featured in a DLC known as Undead Nightmare, but nonetheless, it was still something that they had in their games. And don't get me wrong, Red Dead Redemption 2 is filled to the brim with Easter eggs, and honestly, it has the most Easter eggs and mysteries in any game that Rockstar has put out so far, but I just feel like they spent a lot of time making these Easter eggs only to tease us, in a way. I mean, look at the Easter eggs in the game. We get to see UFOs in some locations of the game, but they don't ever show any actual aliens. GTA 5 had plenty of UFOs around its game world, and plenty of aliens as well as an actual alien abduction. Granted, that could have been a hallucination by Michael DeSanta, but there's always the thought that maybe it wasn't. Or the quote-unquote giant man hiding out in the cave in Red Dead Redemption 2. We don't actually get to see the giant man. We get to see a skeleton on Mount Shan of one giant man, but we don't ever get to see any in action. And, giant men, well, they make us think of Bigfoot. And if this is Bigfoot, then why can't we hunt him down or something, or have like a side quest? Both GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 1 have Bigfoots in their games, so, there's just so many things that we can keep listing, like the man-bear pig in the abandoned house. Why is it just a lifeless body? Why couldn't it come to life and have us actually hunt it down or something? Or the witch's house up north, you can actually, see a witch's house and a cauldron and everything, but you can't see the actual witch anywhere. Or, the wolf man that you can find. He isn't a werewolf, but just simply a feral man, but we get the implication that he's some sort of a wolf man because he howls in the woods, and then you're chasing after him, and he lives with wolves, so you would think that, maybe he has something to do with being a werewolf. So like I said, I mean, he howls in the woods, and your instant thought is obviously, holy crap, this is a werewolf man. I mean, I thought that maybe he would actually become a werewolf if I hogtied him and waited for the full moon to come around one night, and unfortunately it just never happened. Another thing to note can be the pentagram under the house in Butcher Creek. There are just so many Easter eggs like this in the game that tease us almost. I mean, the pentagram under the house, I mean, it indicates some sort of evil happening in the village, so you would think that maybe you could see like a demon or something happening, like an actual possession, but it just doesn't lead to anything. I mean, a lot of people sacrifice stuff above the pentagram, but it just never leads to anything. So there's just so many Easter eggs like this in the game that tease us almost, and it's almost as if they're doing this on purpose to set something up for the future. I can see them doing this and setting it all up for like an Undead Nightmare 2 DLC, but I just don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of these things were just left in the game to tease us, and they never actually led anywhere. Obviously, this video might come off as a bit whiny and whatnot, but I feel like a lot of the Easter eggs they had for us in the game were kind of just, teasing us, and they left us at a cliffhanger, and that they could have done more with it. I mean, just imagine being able to hunt down a werewolf in the game instead of just some, naked dude in the forest that was howling. Imagine actually fighting a witch in the woods near the witch's cauldron. It wouldn't be too far of a reach here, since they do have a vampire in the game and night folk who genuinely look like they're undead. Things like that actually show that the paranormal side of the game is alive and real. And again, it just sucks that they didn't make the Easter eggs in the game come alive as well. Again, like I said, this could all be done on purpose. They might be teasing us on purpose to lead to some sort of like a DLC down the line, particularly an Undead Nightmare 2 DLC, which I've made several videos on in the past, and I just really wish a lot of the things they added in this game had some realness to them. Like, for example, the time traveler Easter egg being another one. We know that the man is time traveling, or at least visiting, different dimensions, but we don't get to see him open up a portal or anything, and we don't see any proof of this actually happening. It's just like we get to see this map of him doing all of these things, but we don't get to see anything that actually gives us solid evidence. It's almost as if Rockstar wanted to do this on purpose, to keep it open to interpretation, as if they wanted it to remain grounded to reality if you chose it to be. But then you look at things like the vampire and the night folk in the game and think, well, isn't it already kind of too late for this? Something I wanted to mention is that the vampire actually doesn't burn up in the sunlight. If you hogtie him, you can go out somewhere in the city of Saint Denis and just put him out in the sunlight. He doesn't burn up. He literally just doesn't burn up like a normal vampire would. So this begs the question, is he a real vampire, or is this just some dude playing dress up and pretending to be a vampire? Because of course he doesn't actually jump at you and bite your neck, which you would expect him to do. He just kind of knifes you and you die. So I don't know. Do you think that this is an actual vampire in the game, or is it just some guy playing dress up? And of course the night folk as well. We don't have any solid proof that they're actually undead. I mean, they look undead. They look like they could be, something supernatural, but they don't really have any proof to it. They literally could also just be faking their appearance to scare people. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff in this game that just makes me think that they made it open to interpretation. If you wanted it to be grounded in reality, you could, or if you wanted it to be something, paranormal, you could. It's just they did it that way on purpose, I think, and I think that all of these Easter eggs might lead to something in the future, to some special DLC that we could get. But even when we try to discredit these things, you can go ahead and actually look at all the ghosts around the world of Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. So the ghost train and, the ghosts in general, like there's just all sorts of stuff in the game that, prove that the paranormal side of the game is real and alive. So again, it just makes you think, why would they not make the other Easter eggs come alive as well? I mean, who knows? Maybe we will be seeing an Undead Nightmare 2 DLC in the future. And in my opinion, I think it's definitely going to happen because there's just so many clues and stuff around the world of Red Dead Redemption 2 that point to it. Like the mask and the cipher, but I won't get into those things in this video. I just feel like there's no way that they'd put all of this stuff into the game and, not continue it, because I feel like a lot of people like me would just be a little disappointed in the Easter eggs because a lot of them just didn't lead anywhere. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Are you disappointed by some of the Easter eggs in the game? Of course, it's really whiny to say something like this because this game is of course a masterpiece and everything that is included in this game is just amazing. There's no way that you could dispute that, but I just feel like they could have spent a lot more time on the Easter eggs and maybe added a little bit more, paranormal stuff into the game. I think it would have made it a lot funner, but again, an Undead Nightmare DLC could continue these things in the future. So let me know down in the comment section below what you think about all of this. Do you think that the Easter eggs are a letdown, or do you think that they're okay, and do you think I'm just being a little bitch and whining about it? But other than that, just let me know down in the comment section below, and please leave a like and subscribe because it only does take a second out of your day to make mine. And with that out of the way, have a wonderful day and see ya in the next one.